咁啊，天氣就有啲涼啊，咁啊，而家係曼城時間，我哋今日6月4號喺曼城呢邊。咁你哋香港啊，千祈唔好集會啦嚇！有嗰啲咩，你哋嗰啲咩行為藝術家啊，咩茶木啊，舉下手都賴嘢，跟住有啲就嗌咩支持國安法都要坐監啊，都要俾人拉啊，未坐監咪一波拉嚇，好多呢啲嘢啊！咁啊喺香港就唔好集會啊，做呢啲咁嘅嘢。咁但係我哋英國咧就佢好難做到啲乜嘢啦喺英國嚇。但係當然即係而家香港嗰邊都咬住即係我哋啲香港人啊，即係在移英嘅香港人啊，所以先派出嗰啲咩袁松標嗰啲間諜啊。咁我而家咧就行去6·4集會嘅現場，咁啊應該搞2個鐘左右嘅。佢分2段嘅，一段佢應該係夜少少先係真正6·4。咁我逗留大概2個鐘，希望得啦嚇，2個鐘左右啦嚇，即係玩到手機冇電啊！咁啊睇個現場，好耐冇拎部機出嚟拍嘢啦。咁啊應該收得比較差啲嘅，咁啊自動打格啦嚇。咁咧現場咧就今年都相對會人少啲嘅，都正常嘅。咁個台咧就面向呢個 Central Library 呢邊。咁啊睇得個人數先，我啊覺得有暫時100幾200人，因為都未正式開始。有啲寒啊，其實今日着羽絨都啱嘅，但我冇着啦嚇。咁啊希望頂到啦嚇，因為我最擔心我就係今日就係出街就冇着口褸出嚟嘅，咁啊有條頸巾加手套。咁咧就其實就開始咗㗎啦，叫做係。When does it start？ 佢有好奇怪，佢今次有2段時，其實都係我都叫佢做6點至7點咯。7點跟住佢有2節嘅喎，7點至8點半喎，有2節嘅喎。佢頭嗰節咧就係講戰爭嘅，講俄烏嘅戰爭居多，跟住下半橛咧就講6·4咁樣。我諗點解佢今年會延長咧，搞2個幾鐘頭？因為佢想聚啲人可能，因為大家要翻工啊嗰啲嘢。好似我咁樣，其實我今日都翻咗工，跟住翻屋企瞓覺，幾撚好。我感覺上好似有少少過翻以前嗰啲我做藥廠嗰陣時嗰啲生活，所以比較精神咯。我今日都比較 hyper， 因為感覺真係好似我有份 part time 喎，跟住呢度 YouTube 又幫補下喎，跟住又可以做到自己中意嘅嘢，又可以去到集會喎，哇！真係黐線，因為好多香港人要翻工啊，跟住喺唔同城市又未必嚟到啊，呢個我理解嘅，因為我都住咗10日。咁啊，我放工之後都唔想話搭車啊，跟住直接搭火車，火車又加咗價，就5磅一啊，搭兩個站嘅真係，咁啊好快嚟到曼城。所以有錢咧，其實咧就好快嚟到曼城。講真，交通好方便，有錢交通好方便。冇錢咧就弊嘅。咁啊，現場可能200零人，100幾200人，有啲人舉起咗英殖民旗啦，仲有俄烏旗啦，呢個烏克蘭旗啦，光時旗啦。咁啊，聚一聚氣啦，因為幾多年啊？19年至到24年都5年啊，4、5年啊。咁啊，好難㗎啦，已經即係你搞個集會，仲有啲香港人聚下咧，好難。但其實又唔係咁 即係叫做咁難做到，因為其實即係你坦白講，一年都係去2次集會啫嘛，去2次集會啫嘛，一個6/4，一個7/1，即係冇乜嘢嘅話，你就唔會再有咩遊行集會。我哋嗰陣時喺香港都係行7/1嘅啫，一個集會嘅啫，一個遊行，即係就發泄心中嘅不滿咁解。而家連嗰個傳統都冇咗咯。而家6/4咧，真係變咗咧就超敏感日子啦！你哋香港，我哋唔敏感嘅嚇，即係可以文明社會啊嘛，唔敏感，隨便噏，隨便講，隨便站。咁啊，前邊有幾個牌，我過唔過去睇下先？我望一望先，有啲嘢寫下嘅佢哋係。咁我行前少少啦，嗱，咁呢度咧就係嗰個前邊嗰個格，其實一開頭係講戰爭先。我開始啦嚇。咁你今日咧就有個坦克車喺度。It demonstrated to the world how tyrannies regarded human lives and rights of common people in pursuit of power and domination. Tonight we remember students, workers, ordinary citizens, the freedom fighters who lost their lives on that fateful night. We also remember those injured, imprisoned, and silenced not only in Tiananmen Square 35 years ago, but also those who have been suffering from tyranny's oppression in different corners of the world. 啲人都唔戴口罩，嗰啲都好用。咁啊，見到烏克蘭戰線嗰邊啲人，咁啊隔離呢度咧有幾個烏克蘭人啦，咁樣有坦克車喺度啦。The new axis of evil in today's world. We are here today to condemn Chinese tyranny and the Russian aggression. We call for every one of us to stand up against their continuous invasion of the free world and trampling of humanity. If your people are oppressed under the evil axis of China and Russia, if you cannot condemn their violence and cruelty, we invite you to join us in calling for the world to recognize the inhumanity and wanton aggression of the new evil axis. We will not be silent. We will hear from several speakers today from different ethnic backgrounds who have been suffering the oppression by Chinese and Russian authoritarian regime. They are ongoingly fighting for freedom and democracy in their rightful motherland. Please join us in welcoming them. So first one we have representative of the Ukrainian community, Alina, she is a Ukrainian journalist. 今日好似話有7個嘉賓，哇！咁個主持英文都好好啊。
Thank you so much for the invitation. Good evening, everyone. I'll start in Ukrainian and then I'll translate into English. 10 років тому мені було 23. Я закінчила магістратуру і лише розпочала свою журналістську кар'єру. 10 років тому я та мої друзі вийшли на Майдан Незалежності в центрі Києва, щоб відстояти наші права і підтримати мирний протест за європейські цінності. Наступного дня цей протест, на жаль, не завершився мирно, тому що відбулися сутички з поліцією і відбулися побиття мирних протестувальників. і після цього в центр Києва вже вийшли мільйони людей. Так розпочалася Революція Гідності, про яку ви, напевно, знаєте. І так як і події 35-річної давнини в Китаї, як ви знаєте, тоді теж рушійною силою змін стали студенти і молоді люди. Це моє покоління. І я пишаюся тим, що живу в один час з цими людьми. Революція Гідності завершилась перемогою протестувальників, але 106 з них віддали своє життя за право жити у вільній і незалежній державі. Відразу після революції Росія незаконно анексувала Крим і вторглася на Донбас. Саме тоді розпочалася війна. 10 років. І ось уже 10 років Росія вбиває моє покоління. Нищить культуру, руйнує пам'ятки, насаджує російську мову на незаконно окупованих територіях. Тут я біженець. І я прошу вас врятувати моє покоління. Прошу вас врятувати Україну. Дякую вам, що ми стоїмо в солідарності разом. Також, користуючись нагодою, я запрошую вас на документальний фільм, що відбудеться 15 червня у культурному клубі Дніпро. Це документальний фільм, який розповідає про видатного представника мого покоління Дмитра Коцюбайла, нашого героя України, який, на жаль, віддав своє життя в російсько-українській війні. Приєднуйтесь до нас. 10 years ago, I was 23. I finished my master's degree and started my career as a television journalist. 10 years ago, my friends and I went to Maidan Nezalezhnosti in Kyiv to support a peaceful protest against the Russian course of development for Ukraine. Our previous president was trying to choose this course for Ukraine. But this peaceful protest ended in beatings and clashes with the police. The next day, there were already millions of people in the center of Kyiv. This is how the revolution of dignity that you probably know began. And actually the events of 35 years ago in China showed us the same, that the driving force of changes, there were students and young people. This is my generation, and I'm proud to live at the same time as these people. The revolution of dignity ended with the victory of the protests, but 106 of them gave their lives for the right to live in an independent and free state. After the revolution, Russia illegally annexed Crimea and launched the invasion of Donbas. The war in Ukraine began 10 years ago. And 10 years, Russia has been killing my generation, destroying culture, destroying monuments, and planting the Russian language in illegally occupied territories. Being here in Greater Manchester as a refugee, I am asking you to help us to save my generation, save Ukraine. Thank you for standing in solidarity with us and taking this opportunity. I am going to invite you to join us for a documentary that tells the story about one famous representative of my generation, our famous fighter who was killed in the age of 27, and he started his way as a fighter 10 years ago when Russia first of all annexed Crimea and launched the invasion. So the film will be on the 15th of June in our cultural center Dnipro. Please join us. Thank you. Slava Ukraini!
咁就講咩咧？大概係其實俄烏戰爭係10年前都開始咗，唔係近年嘅其實。
Thank you. Hong Kong is not China.
Wow. Hong Kong is not China. Wow.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariana, and I'm honored to be standing in front of you and speak on behalf of the nation of fighters and the nation of warriors. Friends, allies, and defenders of independence and democracy, we gather today together to raise our voices in unison in the fight against tyranny and aggression. We stand in solidarity with the nations under siege: Ukraine, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Tibet, and Xinjiang, where the ideals of freedom and democracy face severe threats from powerful adversaries. In Ukraine, innocent lives are shattered by the unprovoked actions of a tyrant. We witness the horrifying cost of war. Families torn apart, cities reduced to rubble, and the nation bravely defending its right to exist. This is not a conflict fought over borders. It's a battle for every soul of a nation, democracy, and the right to self-determine themselves. A right to self-determination. Today, independent Ukraine faces its darkest hour. Yet, the Ukrainian people are holding up the torch of freedom for all of us. They show immense courage, defending their lives and fighting for universal values they are willing to die for. At the same time, across the globe, in Hong Kong, the erosion of freedoms is a slow-burning tragedy. The promises made and the freedoms guaranteed are being systematically dismantled. We see the chilling effect of censorship, the crackdown on dissent, and the silencing of brave voices. This is not just an internal matter, it's a betrayal of a spirit and violation of international agreements. The crackdown is a stark reminder of the events during the Tiananmen Square massacre in 1989. The pro-democracy movement in Beijing, which called for political reform and greater freedoms, was met with brutal force by the Chinese government. The exact number of deaths remains unknown, but estimates range from several hundred to thousands. Ukrainian President Zelensky has accused China of helping Russia to disrupt an upcoming peace conference on the war in Ukraine. China is pressurizing other countries and their leaders not to attend the upcoming talks. Russia, using Chinese influence in the region, using Chinese diplomats, also does everything to disrupt the peace summit. China has staked out what it says is a neutral position on the war, putting it at odds with Ukraine, United States, and most of Europe. Its trade with Russia has grown, easing the economic impact of Western sanctions. But amidst the darkness, we see the unwavering spirit of the Ukrainian people, of Hong Kongers, of the people of free spirit. Their courage in the face of overwhelming odds inspires the world. We see their commitment to their identity and their fight for a brighter future. The world must stand united in condemning these actions. We must reaffirm our commitment to the principles of international law and the right of all nations to determine their own destiny. Our support is not only a geopolitical stance, it is a moral imperative. We must provide economic aid, military assistance, diplomatic backing to ensure that these countries can defend sovereignty and continue on its path towards democracy and integration with the global community. We, defenders of freedom, cannot remain silent. We must stand with them. Our support must be unwavering. We urge you to speak out against these injustices. Let's not be bystanders. Pressure must be applied. Sanctions must be enforced. We must hold these regimes accountable for their actions. We need more efforts, more determination of the world's leaders to make terror finally loose. The fight against oppression and aggression is a fight for universal values, freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. These struggles remind us that tyranny and aggression anywhere are a threat to freedom everywhere. Freedom is not a gift, it is a constant struggle. Today, the fight for freedom is being waged in Ukraine, Hong Kong, and other nations across the globe. It is a fight for all of us. Let's stand together, united in purpose, to ensure that the darkness of tyranny does not prevail. We can stand up to the threat that we currently face. We can make those difficult choices. We can choose truth over comfort. And for the sake of the world our children will live in, I pray we will. Let the world hear our message loud and clear. We stand with Ukraine. We stand with Hong Kong. We stand for freedom. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Hong Kong is not China. Let's do it together. Hong Kong is not China. Glory to Hong Kongers. Thank you. Glory to the heroes. Thank you.
Glory to Ukraine 啊咁啊，所以今次集會就 Ukraine 咗先，講咗 Ukraine 嘅嘢。
Tibetan representative, Mr. Pandit Siri. He's from Tibetan Community UK North Association, please.
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Hong Kong! Free Uyghur! Free Taiwan!
Free Taiwan.
35 years ago, on this very month, about 1 million ordinary Chinese gathered at Tiananmen Square in Beijing. Who were those people? They were young Chinese university students, young professionals, and people from all walks of life, just like us, you and me. And what did they really want? What were their demands? Their demands were accountability, freedom of speech,
我見到 Tommy 仔
freedom of
喎
press, and
，Tommy 仔
democracy.
嚟咗曼城，
I mean, really, is that really too much to ask for?
嚟咗
And
曼城。
how did the Chinese Communist
Yeah,
government
okay.
respond? Their answer were guns, tanks, violent suppression. On 4th of June 1989, thousands of unarmed Chinese civilians were brutally massacred. This is how a totalitarian government responds to its own people when they see a threat to their power. A similar event occurred in Tibet. Tibet was a free country until 1949. The Chinese Communist Army started their aggression into Tibet from 1950s, and by 1959 they had occupied the whole of Tibet. On 10th March 1959, more than 300,000 Tibetans gathered in Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, to protest against the occupation. And how did the Chinese Communist Army respond? Their answer was guns, tanks, and brutal suppression of unarmed Tibetans. On that very day, tens of thousands of Tibetans were brutally murdered. More than 1 million Tibetans died as a result of the occupation. Now, my question is, has the Chinese Communist government really succeeded? My answer is a big no, 100% no. You see, my people back home in Tibet have continued to rise and resist against the tyranny. To this day, over 160 Tibetans have self-immolated themselves. Self-immolation, the act of burning oneself on fire and not harming anyone else but themselves. Demanding two things. First, the return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to his rightful place in Tibet. And second, freedom. Therefore, I say 100% that the Chinese Communist government has not succeeded. It has failed in repressing us, and we will continue to rise. So what is the way forward? What can we really do about the situation? You see, silence is not the answer. We need to unite our voices together. We need to continue to remind ourselves, not just as a Tibetan myself, or as a Hong Konger, or as an Uyghur, or as a Ukrainian, but as a global citizen, to fight for a world that is free for everyone. It is immensely crucial that we all work together and continue to rise, because when we are united, we cannot be defeated. So I say, together we can, together we will. Please let us say this together. Together we can, together we will. Together we can, together we will. Together we can, together we will. Thank you. Nurgalo.
都係新疆嗰邊。好多嘉賓咁樣。
For the next speaker, Nona from Georgian Civil Society. Unfortunately, she's not able to attend here personally, but she did send out her script that I'll read out on this on behalf of Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. These words by Martin Luther King reminds us that the struggle for freedom is a relentless journey, marked by courage, sacrifice, and unwavering resolve. Although we are not able to be with you in person, we are deeply moved by your presence and commitment to this cause. This rally is a testament to our shared belief that the fight for freedom is universal, and that the spirit of resistance transcends borders. In Georgia, the fight for democracy continues as brave citizens protest against laws that seek to undermine their freedom and autonomy. The controversial Russian foreign agents law targeted those who dare to speak out, attempting to silence independent voices and stifle civil society. Yet, the people of Georgia remain undeterred, standing firm in their demand for transparency, accountability, and the preservation of their democratic rights. Their courage in the face of adversity is a powerful reminder that the fight for freedom is never over, and that every voice matters in the struggle against oppression. Similarly to the people of Ukraine have shown extraordinary resilience and bravery in the resistance against Russian aggression. The ongoing war has brought immense suffering and hardship. It has also galvanized a nation to defend its sovereignty and democratic ideas. The world watches in awe as Ukrainians stand resolute, determined to protect their homeland and their future from the shadow of tyranny. Today, we also remember the ongoing oppression in Hong Kong, where the quest for freedom has been met with brutal crackdowns. Dear Hong Kongers, your relentless pursuit of freedom and human dignity is a beacon of hope for all who cherish these values. Our gathering here today in Manchester is a powerful symbol of unity and resolve. Together, we amplify the voices of those who are oppressed and remind the world that their struggles are our struggles. As we listen to the speakers representing our diverse communities, let us remember that the fight for democracy and human rights is a global endeavor. Let us honor the memory of those who have fallen by continuing the fight. Let us stand together against tyranny and oppression. And let us never forget that the pursuit of freedom and justice is a cause worth fighting for. Thank you.
Georgia is Europe.
Georgia is Europe.
No to Russian law.
No to Russian law.
Georgia is Europe.
Georgia is Europe.
No to Russian law.
No to Russian law.
Georgia is Europe.
Georgia is Europe. 哇，好多年前。
Our next speaker today is Ivan. He's a supporter of Shanghai
Georgia,
independence movement.
Georgia,
Please, Ivan.
Georgia 喺邊啊？
Hello, every organizer, group leaders, democracy activists, independent supporter, guests, and participants. I'm Ivan, a supporter of Shanghai independence. It is a great honor to attend Tiananmen Square Massacre Commemoration in Manchester. 各位活動組織者、各位團體嘅領導人、各位民主活動家、各位獨立民主者、各位來賓、觀眾，大家好。我叫 Ivan， 一位上海獨立嘅支持者，我好榮幸接到邀請嚟參加Manchester嘅六四紀念活動。今朝是天安門事件32周年紀念，32年前中共血腥鎮壓至北京嘅和平示威，外加喺中國同安區嘅各大城市，包括北京、上海、成都、廣州，幾乎喺同時期展開了對民主運動嘅鎮壓，這是結果嘅大規模以通性嘅逮捕的發現，中共好像覺得依靠暴力的防疫，假如以後二次正義，不好忘記咗老師。在過去嘅30年當中，看見中共對於老師並沒任何嘅回顧或者是平台嘅義務，中國體制並沒任何民主主義嘅趨勢。甚至因為中共對民眾嘅攻擊，
今日現場咧有400人左右咯，我覺得都有。咁我咧就兜個圈。
大一統嘅同化政策，就是文化，就是人種嘅滅絕。我反對中共放假，實際仍然需要人民控制老百姓嘅通信權，這些事業權，為了自由的自由權，你要允許鬧。
咁咧睇睇個現場啊，有幾多人啦？咁啊咁哨啊！呢度一紮啦嚇，俾個碌柱遮住啊！好多啊，其實都好多人啊！應該嗰啲唔知係咪上海話定乜嘢？咁啊兜個圈，咁啊應該我覺得會收得好差，我冇 check 嗰個 collection 嗰個質素啦，年年都收得好差，因為太多人一齊上網啦。我哋睇到咧就好難數有幾人嘅，不過覺得肉眼經驗唔會多過500。300左右咯，300-400左右。300-400人左右。咁啊，算係唔錯㗎啦，即係因為呢啲集會都知嘅，其實都會越整越少。即係有人嚟，咪算係咁樣咯。咁啊兜個圈 ，Georgia 咁啊都，哇！呢個幾舒服喎，呢個曬太陽先我都，太陽位。400-300啦，幾盡400。我記得咧，我嚟第一次咧已經有500人，好多啊！佢係滿咗㗎，我記得嗰陣時係。咁今年係好明顯少咗好多，少咗好多。 咁有2個集會嘅，一係7·1啦，一個6·4啦。6·4今年就少嘅，即係睇下7·1會唔會多翻少少。如果唔係都冇㗎啦嚇，就係咁多㗎啦。打起3·4·8，我諗係都冇辦法啦。而家你香港嗰邊又話敏感又成，跟住啲人又驚啦，又成啦，到英國都驚啦，跟住係好多原因。跟住即係咪越嚟越少咯？跟住就有啲經過咁樣咯，純粹又唔係話真係做啲乜嘢。咁我捐翻入去啦，就揾個靚位啦。嗱，咁就應該盡㗎啦。我唔認為夜晚會再有人嚟嘅。其實佢雖然搞夜，即係佢會再夜啲。我唔認為佢會再有人。我唔知7·1會唔會再少啲啊？因為7·1上年都唔多，如果係咁少咧，就係有啲失望嘅，有啲失望。但都冇辦法啦，因為都真係好多原因。聚氣依家嘢好難，即係所以啲人咧移咗過嚟咧，其實都唔即係佢哋齋移民咯。其實佢哋唔知道咩叫做集會啊、言論自由，其實唔知嘅。其實嗰班人，只不過我自己有少少感慨咧，就係佢哋少咗而家啲人係。其實就係根本就係好多香港人都未掌握到自己應有嘅權利啊！其實而家你譬如集會係一個即係你應有嘅權利，但係啲人唔去用、唔去攞，跟住咁你過到嚟英國，其實你咁同香港有咩分別？其實我有個咁嘅疑問，所以我其實今日譬如其實點都嚟啦，簡單嚟講，即係呢個係你嘅 benefit 嚟㗎嘛。即係香港人咧好識舐盡啲 benefit，但係呢個其實都係人生嘅 benefit 嚟嘅喎。你能夠集會，你能夠自由地講嘢咁樣，但係啲人唔用，係好奇怪，好奇怪。好少啊！咁啊，即係始終覺醒之人係少啲嘅，同埋都係似乎係。我睇下可唔可以入翻去。哦，嚟翻呢度先。
And was later made illegal, and its leaders were arrested. Chinese workers and peasants today continue to struggle against exploitation and land grabbing in thousands of protests which are never actually reported inside China. My group, Bolton Diggers, launched a project with the Raymond Williams Foundation to raise awareness of totalitarianism around the world and to raise awareness amongst people in England about why there are so many refugees in the world today, including in northern England and Manchester. We've invited many people who have found refuge in England to tell their story. We've invited many speakers to come to Bolton, including the awesome Manchester Stands with Hong Kong, who will speak in Bolton on the 22nd of this month. Today, China leads the world, but not in a good way. The Chinese state leads the world in the techniques of totalitarian rule, in the technology of unfreedom and social control. They lead the world with mass detention camps, forced population movement, facial recognition technology, mass digital surveillance, social credit systems, imperial conquests, forced sterilisation, the outlawing and brutalising of protesters, the threatening of exiles, the stifling of independent media, the banning of independent trade union and civil society groups. They export these techniques and the technology that goes with them. Even in this country, the government is now trialling facial recognition technology in London and Wales. If we don't all oppose these measures, they're going to come to everybody soon. One of the issues of encroaching totalitarianism globally is that people will condemn totalitarianism in one country, but turn a blind eye to it in another country. This is not how you defeat totalitarianism. This is how you perpetuate it. Totalitarianism should be called out wherever it is in the world, not selectively. The totalitarians of this world rule people by dividing them. We stand for solidarity with all the peoples in the territories claimed by the imperialist Chinese Communist state. We stand for unity and solidarity of the people fighting tyranny, both within national borders and across borders. And what we say to finally is that the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. United will never be defeated. United will never be defeated. Hong Kong is not China. Thank you.
It's not China.
Thank you, Alan. So our next speaker today, Mr. payme, the Uyghurs representative, unfortunately is not able to come here today as well, but I will be reading out his script. Today, we solemnly commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Tiananmen Massacre, a day of profound sorrow and remembrance. On this day, we honor the bravery of those who stood for democracy and human rights in the face of oppression. And we reflect on the tragic loss of countless lives at the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. As Uyghurs, we share in the pain and memory of that dark chapter in history. The Tiananmen Massacre is a stark reminder of the CCP's relentless crackdown. The Tiananmen Massacre is a stark reminder of the CCP's relentless crackdown on any form of dissent and its continuous violation of human rights. The same authoritarian regime that brutally suppressed the peaceful protesters in Tiananmen Square has been committing crimes against humanity and genocide against the Uyghurs people for the last 7 years, including mass detentions, systematic torture, forced sterilization, and forced labor. We call on the world to never forget the events of Tiananmen Square and to recognize the ongoing suffering of the Uyghurs people. It is imperative that we seek accountability for the crimes committed by the CCP, not only for the massacre, but also for the systematic persecution of Uyghurs and other ethnic and religious minorities. We urge the international community to stand united in condemning the CCP's action. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that the violence of the oppressed are heard and that justice is served. The memory of Tiananmen must fuel our resolve to fight for a future where human rights are respected and freedom is a reality for all. Let us honor the legacy of those who perished on June 4, 1989, by renewing our commitment to the struggle for human dignity and justice. Together, we must ensure that such atrocities are never repeated, and that the sacrifices are made in the pursuit of freedom are never forgotten. Thank you.
Free
Chinese community in Manchester. Today we face an unprecedented challenge as Chinese fighter jets persistently harass our airspace, severely disturbing our local economy, politics and elections. These actions are not just an affront to Taiwan, but to democracy itself. In response, we are calling upon our fellow democratic nations across Asia to join us in a united front against the Chinese Communist Party. Together, we can safeguard our shared values and protect the democracy that we people cherish. Let us stand strong and resolute, for only through unity can we ensure the preservation of our freedom and the integrity of our democratic institutions. Thank you.
Protect Taiwan. Resist China.
Protect Taiwan!
Protect Taiwan.
Resist China!
Resist China.
Protect Taiwan!
Protect Taiwan.
Resist China!
Resist China.
Protect Taiwan!
Protect Taiwan. 台灣就都好強，相對 protect。
So the powerful display behind us, the cardboard tents and the crushed mannequins, symbolize the brutality of the essence of evil and the human cause of oppression. Another mannequin over there observing this scene symbolizing the silence of the whole world. Please feel free to take pictures and share them on the social media to raise awareness.
但係 China 而家真係好強大，
Now, in a moment of unity,
強大到而家
let's
連
dismantle
集會都係得嗰幾百
this
人，
cardboard
即係
together
驚
as
人
we
嘅。
do. Let us remember the resilience of the human spirit fighting for freedom.
驚撚咗唔出嚟，移咗民都驚啲人，真係奇怪嘅。未移之前又驚，移咗又驚，驚成世嘅香
Sorry,
港
our
人。
final speaker today was Mr. Bin Lao, a Hong Konger wanted by Beijing.
光復香港！光復香港！
時代革命，
光復香港！
時代革命。
大家好，我係劉祖迪，亦都係其中一個被呢個香港政府通緝嘅
攬炒
香港
包
人。
劉祖
同大家一樣，係因為2019年所做嘅努力，而係被港共、被中共去追殺。最近係有一啲所謂香港嘅間諜案，咁其實我都係其中一個目標啦。咁但係因為可能要尊重翻法庭而家嗰個案件嘅審訊，所以我唔能夠透露太多。但我希望即係近排香港嘅發展，甚至乎英國政府係決定公開呢件事呢個取態，大家可以勇敢行出嚟。我知道近排係有23條，亦都有本身嘅國安法，有好多無窮無盡唔同嘅跨境打壓。但好感謝大家今日企出嚟呢度，亦都好感謝今日主辦單位係搞咗一個64嘅紀念集會。尤其是其實今日我哋係一個，我會覺得係一句幾 refreshing 啦。我唔係好識得去形容應該點樣去準確形容，但係我覺得會係一個非常之創新或者係比較相對新嘅角度去了解翻、去回顧翻64。尤其是其實對我嚟講，我係1993年出世，1989年發生天安門事件嘅時候，我都未出世。其實甚至乎拉遠少少。3年前我先係第一次去參加64嘅晚會，點解呢？因為我覺得可能對自己嚟講可能遙遠啦，可能係作為一個可能香港出世、香港長大嘅人，可能我嘅共鳴唔係太強，對於64嘅共鳴唔係太強。但係慢慢我會發覺64其實個意義係多咗好多嘅。自從2020年開始，我哋係冇咗集會嘅自由。曾經64係有幾萬、10萬、20萬，甚至更加多唔同嘅維園燭光集會，但係慢慢我哋甚至乎而家連一個人喺入面悼念都會俾人拉，所以其實呢個係象徵住我哋64，象徵住香港失去咗 應該要有嘅言論自由，應該有嘅集會自由，甚至乎係顯示咗中共係點樣嚴重違反咗呢個中英聯合聲明。喺咁嘅背景底下，我覺得其實而家香港係更加有呢個理據，或者英國政府更加有呢個理據，去對香港政府嘅官員，去對中國政府實施唔同嘅制裁。嚟緊就會係一個英國嘅大選，我希望大家可以用你手上神聖嘅一票，去話俾英國政府知，無論下一屆係由呢個工黨又好，有保守黨上台都好，我希望大家可以動用你而家手上嘅一票，去對英國政府施壓，去對香港嘅人作出支援，呢樣係我哋其中一樣可以做到嘅嘢。咁另外一個我會覺得演變咗嘅意義就係、去到今時今日，其實我本身會覺得可能6·4嘅意義就係可能支援中國嘅民運。當然啦，佢嘅心仍然係支援緊呢個中國嘅民運事啦，或者去支援翻呢一個中國嘅民主運動啦。但係我會覺得其實中國唔同嘅仍然係反抗緊中國嘅人，就係我哋嘅盟友，就好似烏克蘭人咁樣，就好似西藏人咁樣，維吾爾人、台灣人等等。咁對我嚟講，我會支持唔同嘅族群，大家一齊去對抗我哋一個共同嘅敵人，甚至乎係性質相同、性質相近嘅一啲獨裁者。所以喺我會支持其他族群嘅同時，我會企出嚟去支持翻中國一啲民運嘅人士。咁我都希望我哋可以能夠喺一個6·4嘅民運入面，可能學到更加多我哋可以點樣去做得更加好嘅地方啦。我希望之後今年我哋係所謂35週年，我希望香港嘅民主運動、香港嘅革命唔需要35年咁耐，我希望可能唔知會唔會5年、10年，我哋可以光復咗香港，可以翻到屋企。多謝大家。
劉祖迪維佢第一次嚟嘅。
So now I will try to recount a little bit in English. So 35 years ago, I was yet born. I was born in 1993. To me, I would say that the Tiananmen massacre was too remote or too maybe somehow irrelevant to me in the previous maybe 30 years, maybe 25 years. But then 3 years ago, I just realized that I have to support our allies, no matter where they're coming from. Same as I will support Tibetans, I will support Uyghurs, I will support Ukrainians, I will also support our Chinese allies. So that's why I'm standing here today to support all the Chinese allies, to fight against the Chinese Communist Party. I would say that for the last 3 years, the meaning of the June 4th vigil or the June 4th commemoration has changed it. First of all, it has become more dimensional. From the key spirits of supporting Chinese dissidents, it somehow turns into a cross-country movement. Well, apart from something very important, to support different key allies, just like Tibetan, Ukrainian, to fight against dictatorships. On the other hand, well, to me, I would say that the June 4th movement has symbolized the death of Hong Kong civil liberties, the death of Hong Kong independent judicial system. It signifies the serious breach of the Sino-British Joint Declaration by the Chinese Communist Party. That's why the situation in Hong Kong right now is a very strong evidence and bullet for the UK government to impose sanctions against the Hong Kong senior officials as well as Chinese officials. I would say beyond maybe written statements, beyond the BNO visa scheme, I believe the UK government could do much more. So I would urge all of you maybe to somehow utilize your upcoming vote in the general election to pressure the UK government to take back their backbone, to take back the integrity against the Beijing regime. Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! I hope that one day transnational repression will turn into transnational repression. Thank you. I just want to clarify. Yeah. I hope one day transnational repression will turn into transnational resistance. Sorry for my, friends. Yeah. Thank you.
哇！第一次見劉祖的，之前都冇呢啲人過嚟，之前都係
Thank you,
大
Finn.
會自己
Our
吹
final
水。
speaker today is Ms. Catherine Lee from Hong Kong. She is a co-founder of Hong Kong Aid.
光復香港，光復香港，香港獨立，香港獨立。Hello， 咁我用廣東話開始先啦。咁我係 Catherine 啦，我係一個 artist activist， 同時都係港援嘅 co-founder 發起人。咁其實都係第一次嚟曼城嘅集會度發言啦，咁所以都感覺很新鮮，同埋比我想象中凍，我見好似好壯咁。其實今日凍過尋日到嘅。咁係啦，咁其實咧咁作為發起港援嘅人啦，咁我哋好多時候都會有支援好多唔同嘅手足啦，同埋幫助佢哋可能 support 住宿啊，甚至難民申請啊，同埋 BNO visa 可能 provide 一啲 immigration advice 移民嘅意見俾佢哋。咁好多時候咧好多前線嘅手足咧甚至我哋某啲成員咧，可能都會係好支持。甚至係想香港都有獨立嘅一日啦，即係好支持香港獨立，好希望香港有獨立嘅一天。光復可能對好多人嚟講就係獨立呢一個意思。咁所以喺好多時候咧，大家就好關心，咁點解你咁關注六四啊？因為六四係中國嘅事嚟嘅喎。當香港有一日獨立咗，咁六四咪變成鄰國的事咯。鄰國係中國就係鄰國，而唔係香港。咁點解我哋仲要出嚟去悼念六四啊？咁喺我諗我再細嗰啲嘅時候都曾經有遇過一件咁嘅事，即係都有遇過呢一個階段，就係喺度諗到底六四對我嘅意義係乜嘢？點解我要去悼念呢一件事？
佢重複。
咁但係咁我最近以個人身份啦，又參與咗喺倫敦嘅5月30嘅舞台製作啦。咁我當中感受到好深嘅嘢就係其實劇場表演呢一樣嘢，令到世界各地嘅人睇到呢個劇場，知道六四發生咗一個大屠殺，知道天安門發生咗咩事，當中嘅人經歷咗嘅感受咧，其實呢一個係一個 universal value 嚟嘅，係大家都見到係一個唔公義、唔公平嘅事情。咁同時就會感受到，都會為呢一樣嘢去爭取個公義。呢個情況就好似我哋見到其他國家嘅人受苦受難，我哋都會企出嚟為佢哋發聲。就好似今日我哋有烏克蘭嘅代表喺度，有台灣嘅代表喺度，維吾爾圖國嘅人，我哋都會為佢哋發聲。加上我哋其實都係受緊同一個政權嘅打壓。作為香港人，我哋都係受緊共產黨嘅政權打壓，我哋就更加應該要團結起嚟，去將呢一件事去發聲，去話俾更加多人知，其實中國有啲咩唔好嘅事發生咗。當年天安門1989年發生咩事？點解我哋要繼續去大聲講出嚟？咁同埋其實呢啲唔公義嘅事情，都係一環扣一環。就好似我哋頭先一路都嗌 Glory to Ukraine, Glory to the heroes。其實我哋願榮光歸香港呢一句 slogan， 其實都係 inspire 自烏克蘭嘅喎。咁係咪人哋國家發生緊嘅事，我哋就唔理會呢？咁呢一樣嘢都係，即係每一樣嘢都係大家互相影響，而且大家都係喺大家嘅經驗同埋唔公義嘅運動上面去互相學習。咁所以我就都好想喺35週年呢一日都同大家分享我呢個都係89年之後先出世嘅人嘅感受啦，同埋就算大家嘅取態或者爭取嘅事情都未必一樣，但係我哋對待唔公義嘅態度都係一樣嘅。好 ，I'll now recap a bit in English. So I'm Catherine, I'm an artist activist and I'm the co-founder of Hong Kong Aid, an organization that provides immigration advice and offers assistance for asylum seekers and BNO visa holders and migrants. So a lot of people that we offer assistance often often try to advocate for Hong Kong independence, and as a result, the June 4th massacre may look like something that is an affair that is not related to Hong Kong. Because if you imagine Hong Kong is one day liberated and one day of it is independent, then China becomes another country, and it doesn't seem to be our country's affair. So some people, there were some youngsters, and even myself at a certain age, I wondered whether I should care about June 4th. However, then I recently also joined in my personal capacity in a production, in a theatre production called May 35th, which happened in London. And I could see from the audience how everybody from different backgrounds and nationalities shed their tears, laughed, had emotions watching the drama. And then I realized that how important it is that these injustices are universal values, that it doesn't matter what country you're from, it doesn't matter where you're from originally, it is something that when you see that happen, you would show care about it because it is injustice, because it's not fair. And these are left unnoticed and unsettled. And when the Chinese Communist Party had done this massacre in 1989, and up to this day, so many international governments are still not taking an active approach to condemn the Chinese government. And they're still working and collaborating a lot with the CCP, which doesn't make sense, and that's why we still need to keep talking about it. Even though a lot of us, a lot of Hong Kongers might advocate for Hong Kong independence and hope that Hong Kong will one day be freed from China and be independent, it's still relatable to Hong Kongers because we are under the same oppression by the same government, and it is only strong when we all unite together with Uyghurs, with Tibetans, Taiwanese, to shout that we have all gone through the oppression by the Chinese government, and it is only unfair that Chinese government is still thriving in terms of a lot of developments, but they are ignoring the abuses that they're doing in human rights. That's why we have the obligation and responsibility to actually still commemorate June 4th and stay alive to keep telling the story in every way that the world can understand. And as a last note, while we have Ukrainians here, I really wanted to mention that the slogans that we were shouting just now, Slava Ukraini, Glory to Ukraine, actually inspired our song Glory to Hong Kong, which is now banned in Hong Kong, our protest anthem. And that's why I wanted to say that it doesn't matter where we are from. We face and we treat injustice in the same way because it is universal value, and we learn a lot from each other, and we should always be in solidarity in each other. And let's not forget what happened in June 4th, and let's stay alive and stay strong, stay healthy to tell the story to the world. Thank you.
好多嗰啲論述好強嗰啲人 ，Free Hong Kong。Free Hong Kong, Free Hong Kong, Free Hong Kong。好多好勁、好慢料嗰啲人係啊，啲氣場好勁啊。
Thank you, Catherine. So the powerful display next to me is the cardboard can and the crushed mannequin, symbolizing the brutality of the essence of evil and the human cause of oppression. Another mannequin over there observing the oppression, observing the scene, symbolizing the whole world who just let this happen by standing over. So today, please join us to dismantle this tank.
哦，叫啲人行過
As we
嚟。
do, let us remember the resilience of human spirit fighting for freedom.
哦，做咩？拆呢個咩？即係點啊？唔係好明。有個儀式嘅喎。
一個人拆就冧低，一齊拆就唔可以冧低。
哦。
出嚟唔該。
哇哇！
冇我哋就會行
拆呢個坦克車，咁啊拆咗㗎啦，應該都一個儀式啊。冇整到啊，一堆晒埋佢，因為象徵意義啦，咁啊拆咗嗰個坦克車。咁拆完咁點？咁啊好多人堆晒埋去拆啦，咁啊拆完啦。象徵意義啊！我唔係我 ，Samson 係另一個。Samson 喺嗰個白色衫嘅像，有晒血字喺佢身上面，喺中間嗰個位，佢揸住個 cam 啊。點解？
可以過嚟攞㗎，唔使怕醜㗎。
哇！拆咗咯，將嗰架坦克車。睇啲。拆咗咯，解體啊！哇，個寓意都幾強啊！解體啊你都，哇！即係象徵嘅坦克解咗體啦已經，係咪即係中共解體啊？即係意思？一解體就咁樣，哇！今次有錯。哇！解體，好爽。
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of the Hong Konger, and we just invite all of you to remove the tank together. We just said, if only one man to try to do it, the man will be down. But if we do it together, they will down. So now they down already, and now we will chant the last slogan, and then the rally will be finished. Glory to Ukraine! Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to Ukraine!
Free Tibet!
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 No to Russian law! Georgia is Europe! No to Russian law! Georgia is Europe! No to Russian law! Georgia is Europe! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP! Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
Take down the CCP!
The people united! Will never be defeated! The people united! Will never be defeated! The people united! Will never be defeated! Free Uyghur! Free Uyghur! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Free Uyghurs! Resist China! And protect Taiwan! Resist China! And protect Taiwan! Resist China! And protect Taiwan! Resist
So the rally is finished for today. Next, we'll have a commemorate session for the people who passed in Tiananmen Square massacre. So if you wish to stay, please stay. But the rally is finished. Thank you so much for joining us.
哦，完咗。哇，好爽啊！今年係可以解體啊，將個坦克車。哇，嗰個意頭真係，諗起都得意。
If you have the cardboard, how is to handle it？ 如果你手上有卡紙嘅，你哋可以留翻佢下次再用，或者幫我哋處理咗佢。多謝各位。
今年啊多萬人過嚟。OK。
Hello， 大家好，我哋10分鐘後下一場會開始中文嘅6四悼念會，到時會有一班嘅人士會講嘢，有聲帶，有唱歌，咁請各位可以留喺度一齊參與。
可能我留半個鐘，佢仲有，其實仲有嘅，其實仲有嘅。佢而家先真係搞，不過等佢陣先。咁等佢慢慢執啊。我覺得而家頭先都搞呢個，係多謝 Victor。我睇下，我唔會留晒嘅，咁手機冇電就有啦。因為啲人都散緊，因為其實頭先都6-4咗㗎啦，嗰架坦克都好勁啊！今年上年都冇整嗰架坦克。
有食煙嘅又有食煙唔該行就幫我點咗佢入咗。譬如啲偏大偏大，即係分俾人哋去咁樣嘅而家。
Hello。
我哋6K嘅即幫我哋會即將開始㗎啦。幫我點啊？
咁啲人有一啲又散場啦，有啲我睇時間啦，因為我都凍凍地嘅，真係凍凍地。咁爽啦，咁今年7.4個字啦，可能我留多4個字左右，留到手機冇電，跟住去睇翻場戲，哇！今日就好充實啦。咁我就睇環繞一周，睇個情況。因為呢個就係解咗睇嗰啲殘骸，哇！個寓意真係好強。咁有啲人都未走啦。咁日照咧仲好充足，因為禮拜即係6月啦呢啲時間啦。咁有啲人都唔走㗎，其實。咁我放支 cam 喺度先。咁等佢 hea 陣先喺度。真係好凍啊！我又冇羽絨帶啦，所以有啲寒寒地。所以真係唔留得耐啊！我自己都陣間中文嘅，即係佢而家搞2場，一場我頭先嗰場勁喎，有咩劉祖迪啊，其實 Tommy 仔嚟咗喎，不過佢可能下一場先講嘢。Tommy 仔啊，仲有嗰啲啲氣場好勁啊嚇，演說好勁嘅人才，國際人才嚟咗。有曼城，但係我諗走咗100人左右啦。咁但係有啲人都仲留低，但我都應該唔係，因為太凍嘅關係啫，應該。 唔係好留到我自己，太凍。因為我自己諗住1個鐘嘅啫，都係捱。我睇下捱埋到，捱唔到我走。我 feel 到我唔係好得，凍啊，好凍啊！好啦，我決定，我決定放棄啦，覺得我真係好凍。好凍啊！因為聚一聚啦嚇，即係我都頂唔順，因為如果我帶件褸嚟。佢快少少開始，我影3個字到啦，3、4個字到走啦，我真係咁係咯，打張卡先啦咁人多嘅，好少可聚埋一齊啲香港，因為而家聚得啲人咧都係比較有公民意識㗎，其實有公民意識，因為已經啲人開始係開始。
農場版寫啲嘢俾香港人捉，我哋會影張相俾傳媒 po 上去，幫手寫下啲字，就撐下手足。你哋唔介意揸你就揸，如果驚手咧就揾張紙墊住嚟揸又得，隨你哋自己啦。就幫手寫農場版，趁而家得閒未開始嘅時候，寫農場版就俾香港手足。我哋會影張相，將呢張農場嘅相。叫香港嘅傳媒又好咩傳媒都好 po 上去，唔該。跟住嗰度自己落啦，自己搞掂佢。Thank you。
好似有。
點啊？祝就準備開始6、4悼念會。係啦，如果想攞蠟燭就自己攞啦，嗰度都蠟燭。用完啲蠟燭可以抌翻落去，留翻出年用。
我早少少收今日。好啦，今日完啦。凍啊，我都走啦，差唔多。
唔該晒。
咁多謝收睇。
我要寫連場喎。